Oh, welcome back to Market Overdrive. This afternoon we are talking about lack of inventory and how to win those multiple bidding wars. With us this afternoon is Mr. G. I just changed your name.
You just changed my name?
Mr. G.
Mr. G.
Mr. G.
Where do you G?
Javier Garcia.
Alright, I don't even
Duh.
whatever
Get with it. So anyway, this market is seriously fierce. And Javier, what are you doing from the lending side to win these bidding wars?
You know what? Right now I'm trying to just prepare these home buyers up front at the application process and just kind of expecting them and getting them basically ready for the real estate agent, kind of letting them know what they should expect, what kind of funds they're going to need up front for the transaction. In usual cases, I try to give them a best case and a worst case scenario to just make sure that they're prepared for the home buying process.
What are you seeing out there, Nick?
Well, in terms of
preparing them to get, you're going in, you know it's going to be a fight in this one specific condominium complex, and one unit finally came up,
and there's 20.
You know there's going to be
and
20
there's
offers, but their heart is set on this property. You got to win this thing. How do you prepare them?
You know, there's three ways that I would really narrow that down. Number one, overall, you've got to have a clear, concise contract. You really don't want to put a lot of contingencies in there, make it complicated, ask for things that aren't included. You know, oh, I want the flat screen TV, or I want them to build me a garage, or things like that. You want it to be a very clean, concise contract with few contingencies. I'd say three big things. Number one, make a short time period for the inspection. You don't want to drag out inspection and attorney reviews. I've seen some 7 and 10 day ones. My sellers are not buying that, so to speak.
Yeah.
Second of all, a large amount of earnest money. If you're trying to put $1,000 down on a $200,000 house, that doesn't look like a very solid buyer to me, or a very serious, committed buyer.
What is a good deposit in that case?
You know, I'd like to
shows that
see
you're
you're going to put two series of earnest money payments, but up front I'd like to see 5 or 10,000, depending on the price of the property. But you want to be serious, because there are unfortunately still some investors and some looky-loo buyers out there that are going to mess around, and they're not really committed to the purchase. So I'm looking for a good amount of earnest money, a reasonably large amount of earnest money, and then also, and you guys will enjoy this, you two as lenders, a very detailed pre-approval. Not one of these things that looks like it was written on the back of a napkin, no contact information for the loan officer, just a joke. I won't even look at those.
I completely agree. It's true.
Yeah, my clients will get every offer because that's the law, but I'm going to show them, look, we can't even get a hold of the loan officer. I want a cell phone number, I want details about what this loan is going to look like and what they need from me. And that's what I do, is I pick up the phone and I call the lender and I say, well, what do you need from me to make sure that this goes through? Particularly, as Nick Mametti said earlier, on the condo stuff. You know, that the condos, there's a lot of hoops to jump through in a condo loan, and I want to make sure I know what I and my seller or buyer are getting into.
All right.
It makes sense. And you know what? One of the things that I like to point out as you're listening to us and you're getting ready to buy a property is, I know that some not-for-profit organizations, and I'm not complaining or talking down any organization that's there to help and educate you, but people are giving you bad advice about these earnest deposit. They're telling you, oh, just do $1,000 or $500. That earnest deposit is yours. It's going to be credit to you at closing. So you're not really losing that unless, of course, you just say, I don't want it anymore, and you change your mind on the purchase. So just keep in mind, this is to tell the seller, dear seller, take this property off the market. Don't show it to anyone else. Just give me an opportunity to get my financing done, and I will purchase this property from you. It's kind of like a deposit. It's money in earnest.
From what I've learned, Illinois is a really tough state to keep earnest money in. It's really tough.
It's so hard for us to
you
lose
showed
it.
good faith and you actually went through the process, you have been legitimately denied, you should be able to get your earnest money back.
Absolutely. And that, as a broker owner, I know what those laws are better than
anybody
most,
here,
because I'm stuck dealing with it.
Right.
And it's, the parties either agree, or you take it to a court and the court looks at it and goes, okay, you know what? As long as the buyer was serious, and they're not trying to do something shady, you're going to get your earnest money back. Even if the seller stalls, you just take it, unfortunately you have to go to court, but you'll get the money back. Illinois is a very, very tight state about that. Very rarely, that buyer really has to mess up or be acting in bad faith to not get their earnest money
Usually
back.
just walk away.
And isn't that so simple? Like something as simple as your earnest deposit, how strategically you can win a bid by just knowing this information. And again, what Nick said, to have a complete contract, make sure that you understand the terms of the contract and that you abide by them. Because again, like Nick Mametti said earlier, you're talking about not losing this property, and do you just give up on some of your needs and wants so that you can buy something? It's not even about that. It's about knowing the contract and knowing that sometimes you're also buying properties in as-is condition. You're waiving not that you're waiving the inspection, but you're waiving to have credits after you've negotiated a price.
And I think that this is something that brings up a larger issue, is that you're saying in just this conversation how important it is to have a really good loan officer and a really good realtor. And if you're not doing the research on these people, anybody can look good for 5 seconds when you meet them. To look online, look at their Zillow reviews, look at what their online reputation is, and you're going to find out real quick, is this person really qualified to be working with me in this very tight competitive market where people are getting outbid, people are making some aggressive decisions.
Well, I've even taken a step further. I've had some clients that can put down 30%, even 40%, and they want to go buy a property, and when they do their financing, they want to actually just borrow, 90 LTV, and so put down 5 or 10% in order to actually do the financing. Now, I've told them, I'd prefer to put this pre-approval out that you have 20 to 30% if you need to. Going guns blazing that you're a solid buyer. We can try and do it later for 95. No one cares as long as the funds are there.
Yeah.
But show them where you're willing to go and you're going to go moving forward. And so that's been my advice to get them prepped up in advance. You're listening to Market Overdrive. We are here live today with Nick Libert of Exit Realty and Javier Garcia. Yeah. Sorry about that. Pull the car. Javier Garcia of Federal Savings Bank. We'll be back in a few minutes. Lines are open. 312-642-5600. I'm looking on Facebook and I just read Eduardo and I'm like, oh shit. Damn, that's usually your job to screw up the name. I don't ever do that. Carlamina does it. Is it working? I'm eating this donut. Let's see, I didn't have the Bavarian one.
There's names to these things?
Yeah, this is a Bavarian cream, girl. There you go. Is it live now? Is it live?
I am.
Yo, these donuts are awesome. You gotta try this stuff. Nick's probably worried about his figure. Spring's around the corner.
Yeah, come on, I got a vote to be on in the summer. Not ready yet.
That's what's tough, living in your world.
Yeah.
Everybody in your world is in good shape.
Yeah, my friends are just, I bet you a couple of them are watching it right now too. They're all just ripped. It's hell. And I mean, some of them, they've got that 9 to 5. They'll go to the gym before they go to work. They'll go after they go to work. Just unnatural stuff. Wow. I'm dealing with unnatural stuff.
Dude, I have some close friends and they would try to get me to go to a bar. I'm like, I can't go to barbecue this weekend. I haven't worked out in like 4 months, bro. I gotta be in summer shape in order to go to those bars. I'll go to a street bar all day long right now. I give a shit.
Can you stop cursing?
We're live again still?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm always live.
What's up?
I'm always live.
Oh my God! And I need to stop using. You need a. What is wrong with you? We're gonna get in trouble in the studio again.
For what?
You're dropping powder all over the place. You broke the counter. Now you're dirtying up the space. How do people put up with you? Like, so dirty and messy.
All right. Whatever. This it? Hi, Libert fans.
Tell us about your fans, Nick.
My fans. My raving fans.
Your raving fans.
Uh-oh.
Don't you have...
Uh-oh. We got somebody upset on the phone.
Uh-oh.
Joe from Bartlett disagrees about earnest money. He must have gotten his ass bit.
What did it say?
Joe from Bartlett says he disagrees about our earnest money comments.
There it goes.
He's on line 1.
So now we're officially in trouble
we get
because
stuff like that all the time. They get in the ring with us.
Joe is saying that they disagree about earnest money.
What about it?
I didn't say it, Joe. Nick Libert did.
Nick,
well,
Nick, you were the one.
Hey guys, 20 seconds.
You were saying about earnest money, so it's your fault.
Okay.
You're upsetting my audience, Nick.
Let's get him in the ring.
Make a ring. Make a ring. Ding, 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 ding.
All
I got a
education.
great
Wait, can you
success
put my
story
headset
about
on?
earnest money.
I can't multitask. Okay, we're live. Back to Market Overdrive. Thank you again for listening to us. And we're going to go straight to our phone call. We have Joel from Bartlett who's calling in because he disagrees about the earnest deposit advice we just gave him. I'm going to direct that to Nick.
Ding, ding, ding. Joe, how you doing? You're on Market Overdrive. Is it live?
Joel, are you there? Well, that's because you don't know how to use the system.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That's what happens. When
Yeah,
you're
we can
in,
hear
when
you,
you
Joe.
sit in the front of the desk, Nick, you have to know how to operate this.
That's your button. Your job is to click the button, girl. I just watch the time.
Hi, Joe. How's it going? Good, good. What's your question?
No, we said there's. No, that's not true. Because actually, the earnest
I'm
money is
sorry,
going to
we
be
can't
held.
hear Nick. Nick, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
Go ahead.
So actually, and I appreciate the comment, and obviously, radio sometimes we don't, it's not live communication. So here's what I actually said. What I said was that the earnest money, is protected, and what I mean by protected, it's held by a third party. It's not held by an LLC. You should never, as a buyer, be giving earnest money to a seller. You are giving it to a third party. You're either giving it to an attorney, you're giving it to the real estate brokerage, all of which are
Third party.
They're third party, and they're regulated by the state of Illinois. So that's very important distinction. I think that's a good point, Joe. You should. Where's your earnest money going? If a real estate broker or seller is telling you to write a check to the seller, run away from that deal. Something's wrong.
Maybe he had a situation. Joe, did you maybe have a situation where you were buying directly from a for sale by owner scenario or directly from an entity?
Uh-oh. Well, that's red flags to me as a broker.
Yeah.
Your broker, if there was... No. Not a single one that I've ever dealt with in the 17 years I've been in business.
Joe, you have to let me cut in here. One of the difference between buying directly from a developer and buying a property from an own seller is that new construction has their own contract. So you have to work with a realtor that understands the differences in contracts and purchasing contracts, because when you're writing your contract, it specifies there the earnest deposit is to say, dear seller, take this property off the market and give me some time to get financing on it. But you're under contract and you close that attorney review and then you decide you don't want this property, yes, then the seller can keep your earnest deposit. But if you get, your contract is also contingent on you getting a loan. If you don't get the loan, then you get your earnest deposit back. Because you didn't qualify for the loan. But there are some stipulations in new construction, and those contracts have to be read to you by your attorney because they are very different from any other legal document.
And I want to make one more point here too, real quick, is that all of this earnest money discussion in terms of where the earnest money goes, that's all subject to negotiation.
Right.
So if you don't like where they're telling you to put the earnest money, you put in your contract where you think it should go. Maybe it's your attorney, maybe it's a title company, but never write a check directly to the seller. So I think that was a very good question and comment, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe has
definitely.
a scenario that I actually went through. Joe, I think I know what happens here. You were waiting for, or somebody you knew was investing in a developer. The earnest money was given, and at some point, the developer has rights to that as long as he delivers the project at the end. It's non-refundable after a certain point, because then they start getting into modifying or doing the upgrades the way you wanted it. And I think there's loopholes in some of those contracts where they can access the earnest money because you can no longer walk out of the game because they've modified to your specifications. And at that point, let's say you were almost there, about 80% completion, and the market crashed, which happened to me on a deal. The developer went away, filed bankruptcy, the project was never done, and a lot of earnest money went up in the air. Maybe you didn't want the property or whatever the case was. But that can happen. But again, it goes back to you as a buyer deciding and negotiating where that earnest money is parked. You could always park it with a third party, like Nick said earlier, an attorney or a brokerage, versus ever giving access to the developer.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for calling, Joe. We really appreciate your input and listening to Market Overdrive. If you have any questions for us or Mod Squad, please call us at 312-642-5600. And of course, today's topic is about how to win those bidding wars and how to make sure that you have an accurate contract, but then don't let the speed of this process stop you from understanding the terms of the contract, because a purchase contract is a legal document and it's binding, and of course time is of the essence, so there really isn't a lot of time to wait in that I don't know period. That's why you have to align yourself with experts who do know the process so that you're not in the dark. But it's always important to do your due diligence, and of course that's why we lean on our lenders to make sure that you understand everything. What is one key advice that you would give our audience, Javier, with respects to something that they should be careful about when they're signing these contracts or even financing?
My number one thing and advice to any single buyer is work with a full-time realtor. A full-time realtor is going to know a lot of these different clauses that you're going to be able to input into your purchase contract to ensure that you don't get into a contract where you might put your earnest money at risk, or you might have such a short contingency to close that it's just unreasonable for you to actually be able to meet. So number one advice is always work with someone who's doing this on a day-to-day basis, because you want to be protected in all cases.
Well, and also, if you don't know too much about your realtor yet, ask them about what training their company provides. If your realtor's not getting trained regularly, we do stuff at our office every week relating to contracts and competition, and how to do the best job for our clients.
And of course, it is everybody's goal to make sure that we're protecting you, because it is our fiduciary duty did I say that? Fiduciary duty.
It's okay.
Yes.
Just keep it moving. Keep it moving, girl.
Keep it moving. To protect your best interest, right? This is one of the biggest purchases you're going to be making, so it's very important that you understand the terms. And again, we're talking to those 300,000 and under buyers that may be first-time buyers. We want you to be educated, and that's one of the reasons why we do have this radio show. It is to elevate your real estate IQ. So thank you for listening, and give us a call.
Market Overdrive, the lines are open. If you have any more questions or concerns, we're here with our special guests today, Nick Libert of Exit Realty and Javier Garcia of the Federal Savings Bank. I got that all in one motion. There you go.
Mr.
Phone lines
G,
are open,
Mr. G.
312-642-5600. Again, that's 312-642-5600. Be back in a couple minutes.
This live streaming stuff is a whole new element to it. It's really cool.
There's a whole other level of holy shit to it.
This is the short break, and then we're back for the last segment.
This is the last segment? Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the last segment.
4 minutes is more about you giving your advice, one key advice from each, and then where can they reach you?
Okay.
Yes.
Crazy busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like fast.
I love it. I love this stuff.
And then you piss somebody off. Oh my God, one time, Brett came in here and said, doesn't believe in IDA, down payment assistance.
Oh God. Who said that?
Brett Decker?
Oh my. What is? Oh God, Brett.
Well, he doesn't do it, and he was just like, some people have to have skin in the game,
Ooh,
and it was one of those storms. So it was just he and I, and then the guy from IDA.
1 minute, Carla.
So the Lions are like blowing out.
Yeah. Woo.
I used to be plagued by pot belly and constant bloating. After taking new biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. Biotics is
Great commercial. Loving it.
to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Think you might be bloated? Call now for a free trial of new biotics and see how much flatter it makes your belly. You might be surprised, but hurry, call now for details while these free trials
10 seconds.
1-800-976-1220. That's 1-800-976-1220. 1-800-976-1220.
Welcome back. Oh my God, where did the time go? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
we
gosh.
are on AM 560, and we have to be respectful of our audience. It's almost time to go home, or for some of us, go back to showings, which of course I have many of those. I'm super stoked to invite you all to come out to our open house tomorrow at 400 East Ohio, Unit 2404. 1,400 square feet of luxury. This is a full amenity building. It is super awesome. You gotta come and check it out. It's got an indoor pool, an amazing 3,000 square foot deck overseeing Chicago's finest, the best, Navy Pier and Lakeshore Drive. So come and check it out and meet me and whoever you want to meet. You guys are hanging out with us tomorrow, Javier, Nick,
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have me most
I
of.
try to stay as far away from you as possible after I see you way too much as it is.
Fine, but seriously, we just hit the
I'll
market.
be
So
there
if you're
straight.
looking to buy, come on out and check us out, because this property still doesn't have any offers. Like how I say that.
Real quick, I want to hit an opinion here, and for those that people have always asked me this famous question, because part of and we only have a couple minutes here. Part of everyone always wanted to catch the best side of the pendulum. The market was inflated in 07, and then at one point it hit complete deflation in 2009 or 10, you might want to call it. what would you say, like we said in our advertisement for this show, was the absolute best time you could have bought a property? What year was it? Where was the magic at?
Well,
were you sitting here today?
2010.
When you're sitting here today laughing, going, "I did it."
Actually, I will tell you, I know exactly when it bottomed out. It was January of 2012. Statistically, it was January of 2012, and I know because I went under
Did
contract.
he just say statistically?
Statistically, and I tell you, and personally, I went under contract on my house, my townhouse in Lakeview, in December of 2011, and I mean, it had been on the market forever. They kept dropping the price. People kept bidding on it. I was in a multiple bid situation 3 times, and the deal kept dying. And I came back and I said, I'll buy it basically as is, no inspection, no attorney review. I was crazy. Don't ever do that, guys. But I'd been in the house so many times at that point.
Situation, but I do advise you to do that.
So that was the bottom of the market. It was January 2012, and we've been slowly. You know, we're definitely recovered in some areas, and other areas we've still got a little bit of progress and ways to go.
What do you think, Javier?
I think right around 2012, just because if you actually look at it right through the whole mortgage implode and everything else, when people foreclosed on their homes, the market was based off of sellers. There was more sellers than buyers because the buyer's market was so saturated with foreclosures and things like that. You know, it was really going to be a buyer's market. You can literally sit there and wait until they keep reducing the price, and then boom, jump on it when the price is bottomed out.
Carla, you got 30 seconds to tell me that one. What do you think?
When it was the best time to buy?
Absolute best. Where you could sit back today and you bought something and you're like, ha, I did it.
2009.
Wow. Wow. Well, the 3 of us are going to disagree with you, but that's normal because everybody that's really good at what they do disagrees with you. So I'm going to roll with 2000, and I know why you're saying 2009. That was probably when prices were absolutely the lowest. I think they might have been the lowest in 10, to be honest with you. Late 9, early 10.
Say that to all my investors who bought single-family homes and kept them as rental throughout that whole market.
Hold on a second. We're going to talk about the average person here. The average person is typically buying.
What's the right time?
The average person is buying in a time when the average person needs a loan when they buy a house. First of all, right?
Exactly.
So now in 2011, going into 2012, Nick hit on the head. You had rates at their absolute lowest ever. What were you, Javier? 3.3 on a 30-year fix or something like that in 2012?
3.25,
something like
maybe for about a 3-day period. I saw them as low as 2.875.
Right. So you had this interest rate, and the prices haven't appreciated yet. So that's where I always tell people right around 11 and 12. But you know what? It's okay. 3 out of 4 of us are incredibly intelligent about what we're doing in Market Overdrive. And the 4th one is just Carla Mina.
Since 2009.
Thank you all. Thank you all for listening. You've been listening to Market Overdrive. We'll see you next week. Special thanks to our guest, Nick Libert and Javier Garcia.
Welcome to the Mod Squad.
My name is Nick Mametti.
Thank you.
This is my co-host, Carla Mina. We will see you guys next week.
We'll be better.
I'm gonna kill you! You're talking crap about me on the air!
It's not my fault. You screwed up.
How did I screw up? 2009, my clients bought a bunch of single-family houses.
That might have been one deal. But I think if you ask a lot of